Disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. All use is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use term made by copyright statute that nonetheless be infringing. Non-profit, educational, or personal use tips to the balance in favor of fair use.
At the beginning of the episode, we see Fetching City where we are shown the year 1996. There a lady was going home on her bicycle at night. At the same time it starts raining and there was no one on the streets where she felt very sad. Strange noises were coming, so she was quickly going to her home, but suddenly a boy wearing a raincoat whose face was completely covered suddenly appears in front of her, and he tries to come near her, due to which she out of fear. She screams loudly and on hearing his voice. Someone throws a flower pot from the balcony there, which falls on the boy and he gets injured and immediately runs away. Next day, we see Shaul, the male lead of our drama. Let's see, Shalu was dreaming of his favorite actress in his sleep, but then his mom comes from sleep and starts waking him up, where she tells him that today is her college entrance exam, so she should not miss it. That is why now Shalu will also attend the exam. He gets ready for the exam and was having breakfast with his parents, where his mom was saying that his teachers also praise him that he is very good in studies. He just needs to work a little harder to develop his interest. It should also be clarified in the right way, because he did not want his son to go into depression with low marks and take some wrong steps like today's children. On this, Shalu answers quite lightly that even if he fails in the exam, but he will never do such a thing. Now mom and dad start arguing about whom their son has gone to, because they felt that he is a very simple and dedicated child and they did not want their son to spend time late at night. Shalu roamed outside because he knew that there was a masked and powerful person roaming around in the city, so that he might mistake his son for a girl and take advantage of him. On this, Shalu said, "Don't worry if he comes in front of me. If he doesn't come, I will teach him a good lesson." After this, we see Saul sitting outside a food factory with his best friend Guang, where both of their parents also worked, and here they both have a friend named Chinchuan. She works inside this factory. Guang was going to propose her today because he had liked her for a long time. Hearing this, Olu makes fun of him and says that he did not get the exam day to propose her. He tells Guang that today is Shinjin's birthday and he can't find a better day than this, and he wants to wish him a happy birthday first. Then Shinjin comes there, and on seeing her, Guang gifts him lots of magazines, snacks, etc. He tells her that he has liked her since middle school, but Shinjin rudely tells him that she is not at all interested in all this and that he is at her workplace. But Shalu gets angry on hearing this and tells her that Guang just wanted to wish her a happy birthday, so why is she behaving so rudely? Saying this, he starts to stop Shinjin, but she runs inside the factory and complains to a boy working there named Dai Jiang about Guang and Shalu, that they are harassing her, hearing which these people catch Guang and Shalu and threaten them. They wonder why they bothered a beautiful lady like Shinjawan. Now they have to go to the security office so that he can talk about all this. After hearing this, he requests Shalan that she has an exam today and if they are late, so he will not be allowed to take the exam, but Dajin was not going to leave him at all, so Guang threatens Dajin that he does not know who is Shaul's cousin. Actually, Shaul's cousin was Jiang, who used to work in the food factory. He used to do this, but then he went to Hong Kong and formed his own gang there. On hearing this, Dajin also gets angry at him because he did not like war at all. That is why now there is a fight between these people, where Guang was caught by those people and Shaul was running away from them, but then there enters the female character of this drama, whose name was Bela. As soon as she enters inside the factory with her suitcase, Shaul finds her. Without looking, he picks up his suitcase and starts fighting with these people here, but then Dachin comes in between. Then Shalu now throws the suitcase on him, due to which Balin's suitcase gets completely broken and all his clothes are destroyed. They start flying in the air, in which moment everything seems to have stopped for Shalu there, and he was just looking at Balin because she was very beautiful, but she comes to him in anger, and now all of them, Vane is taken to the secretary's office, where the head of the secretary's office, who was actually Guang's dad, first asks Shingen who started the fight between them, to which Vane lies that she was there. No, and she escapes and goes away from here, seeing which all the boys start looking at her because this fight started because of her. Now here, Shalu requests Guan's dad to let her go, otherwise she will be late in the exam. But he tells Guan's dad that he should have thought about all this before fighting. Then the secretary comes there, who used to hate Zhang, hence he starts harassing Shalu too and says it is certain that he must have done this fight. He is exactly like his cousin, because the workers here are very disciplined and will never do such things. Hearing this, Shalu gets angry and tells the secretary that he should not let him. It will definitely teach a lesson. On the other hand, we see Balin, who is taking care of her broken suit, and we come to know that she had come to the doctor's post inside the factory when Balin is asked here if she knows. When the fight over who started first starts, she takes Olu's name, due to which she is caught by the local police, and while leaving, Saul tells Balin that he should not have done this because he did not harm him anything. All this does not end here, he will see her later. Then Byron also answers him that yes, of course, right now you will have to bring me a new suitcase as well. After this, we see that the policeman who is taking Saul away leaves him on the way because he knows that Xiaolu is a good boy, he would not have fought. He asks him to quickly go through the shortcut route so that he can quickly reach the exam center and give his exam. But by the time he reaches there, the exam had already started, hence despite his efforts, he is not given entry. Then Guang also comes there, seeing whom Xiaolu was a little interested. He says to him, "What are you doing outside? He should have come to the exam hall." Ganga tells him that how could he leave his best friend and go for the exam, and he had not studied anyway, so he was going to fail. But he feels bad for him because he could have passed the exam and gone to college. But these people sit outside the school and start eating sugar canes and were waiting for the exam to be over. So these people were talking about this to their parents. How will he tell in the bar, and what will he do in his future because he had skipped the exam? People decide that they will not tell their parents about missing the exam and will work in the food factory of the town like them. It is not necessary that they would be able to progress only through studies because they could have progressed through skills also. On the other hand, we see Xiaolu's mom and dad, where mom was making some good luck posters so that she could give Xiaolu a chair for her exam. Where she also tells dad that he is very intelligent in studies, but he also has a lot of fun and takes studies as a joke, which is his biggest weakness. So she does not want Xiaolu to fail. But then due to the wind blowing there, the poster made by him flies out of the window, which was a sign that something wrong is going to happen to him. On the other hand, we see that the director takes Balin to the office to meet the secretary. While the director is angrily talking to Jiang on the phone and saying that he will not listen to a single thing from him, then Jiang comes straight to the director's office with his two friends named Pig Teeth and Dump Jar. And he asks his brother, i.e. Shawwal, to be taken out of the police station because he felt that Shawwal would be inside the police station. Then the secretary starts saying here that his brother had started this fight and he has an eyewitness, which is Bai Lan. After listening to Jian, he warns Secretary Ji that if he does not want to be beaten by Jiang like before, then he should not say anything to him. After hearing this, Bai Lan tells him that if Xiaolu made a mistake, he should also be punished. After hearing this, Zhang catches the secretary, closes all the doors there, and starts forcing Bai Lan. She quickly makes a call and asks him to get Xiaolu out of the police station, but Bai Lan does not listen to him. Instead, to stop him from strangulating the secretary, she hits him on the head with a glass object, due to which Zhang loses his senses. He says that I will see you guys later, and all his friends take him away from here. After this, we see that they take Zhang to Saul and tell Saul everything about how a lady hit Zhang. Hearing this, he starts wondering who might have done it. But then Jung also regains consciousness and Balin also comes there, who asks Jung to go with her to the hospital and says that if he does not go to the hospital, he could have suffered some serious injury. But Jung wasn't ready to agree, nor was Balin going to leave without him now because Zhang couldn't teach Balin a lesson by hitting her because she is a girl. So he asks her to play billiards with him and says that if he loses, then he will go with her to the hospital. Now the game starts between them, where Jung performs well, but Balin was also giving him tough competition. He was surprised to see her playing the game so well, but because he had a head injury, Xiaolu comes to play in his place. Even after the lights go off, they keep the game going by lighting torches, and Xiaolu was playing so well that he was just about to win. Just then, his mom and dad come there and catch him, shout at him, and ask him what he is doing here at the time of the exam. To avoid them, Xiaolu runs out of here, where Zhang takes him away on his bike. Now we see these people sitting together, where Zhang tells him that he has failed in the exam, so what will he do now? Xiaolu asks him what he had done when he was of her age because Xiaolu considered him his idol and wanted to be like him. But Zhang tells him that it is not necessary for Xiaolu to be like him because he had not done any good work, so he asks him to join football so that from there he can make his future. Then we are shown the scene of 1 month later, where now when Guang and Shawl had met inside the food factory, there on the request of Xin Yang, Shailu gives a speech on the speaker in the food factory. Both her and Guang's mom were listening. Guang's mom is praising Xiaolu here that because of him her daughter also got a job here and he is a very good child, but then Xiaolu starts his speech, where he says that he had skipped the exam, and here he also says some things which he should not have said, due to which his mom feels a little embarrassed. Now, after giving the speech, Shinjuan and both of them forget that their speaker is still on, and they both start talking about Bailan, that she is a doctor not from their factory, but also that Bailan once killed someone with a knife because of this. There is also a case against her which the entire food factory, as well as Bailan, was listening to, but she does not react to all this and goes to meet the senior doctor where, after hearing all the same things and seeing him, she is completely shocked. On the other hand, Saul's mother comes and shouts at him and tells him that the mic is still on. After this, when Shingen is inside her dome, she comes to know that her roommate is by the side of the room where she sees that she used to read fantasy romantic books, which she tells Saul and Guang the next day. She says that Bailan is a very strange girl because she reads such books, which makes both of them laugh, after which Shingen takes them to their job location. They had mechanical work inside the factory, and here these people meet their own people. Here, all these people already knew their parents, so they treat them very well, and, along with their uniform, they also give some equipment inside, which there was a red mask. Wearing that uniform, both of them entered inside the canteen with great confidence. These people were feeling that they were looking very good, but all the people were laughing a lot after seeing them in this manner, but they didn't care. Now at night, we see Bailan, who is passing through the same deserted road with a bicycle. Then suddenly that mountain boy with the mask appears. He comes in front of her where we can see that masked pervert boy behind Bailan, who stops her by whistling and suddenly starts coming towards her, seeing which Bailan starts fighting with him, and the boy runs away from here. But he was wearing a red mask on his face, and while leaving he dropped his mask there. When Bailan checked that mask, Shalu's name was written on it. The next day, we saw Director Shalu in his office. They call him in the office and ask him where he was last night because he had got his mask from the Power of Rain Court, on which he says that how can he doubt him, he would never do such a thing, and talking about last night he had gone to watch a movie with Guang, where he says that someone must have stolen his mask. Hearing this, Bailan comes there and she tells Shalu that she is sure that it is him. He had come disguised as a powerful person because he wanted to take revenge on Bailan anyway, but Shalu does not accept this at all, and while leaving from here he picks up the mask and starts saying that if he proves himself right, then Bailan will have to apologize to her. Now the news has spread throughout the factory that Bailan was attacked by that person last night, where Guang's mom starts blaming Bailan in front of the senior doctor for the way she dresses. The clothes she wears will definitely attract such people to her, who hear the story and come to them and say that even if she wears clothes like them, the same thing will happen to her. At the same time, the secretary also comes there, which starts taking Bailan's side, where she tells the other doctor that she will do the physical examination of all the workers today. Hearing this, the doctor says that other male doctors can also do this work, but she wanted to do this work herself so that she could find out whether the pervert is from their factory because last night he had injured him. Then they make everyone fill the form, and all the males here were asking her that will she undress them and check them. Then she tells them that this is her job and she just has to do the examination. Then she makes all the boys stand in a line and first asks Shalu to turn back and undress, where everyone, seeing the same cartoon underwear, starts laughing at him, and when Bailan asks him to take it off, he gets irritated and runs away. After this, we see that Wavelu is having lunch with Jang, where Jang tells him that if that girl bullies him again, then Wavelu should not fight her, but he should prove himself. Jang also tells him that today he is also going to talk to a gang whose boss was Ho, because being the boss, he was not going to occupy his place in their factory area. After which Saul is now talking to Gavin, where he tells him that if he wants to prove himself, then he has to find the real stalker and catch him. Hoga goes to Shingen for help. He tells him that they want to prove Bailan wrong because she was bullying Shalu a lot, but Shingen also agrees, and now these people make a plan that if the stalker appears inside the street at 7 in the evening, then people will prepare Shinji Van and send him there so that as soon as the stalker attacks him, they will all sing and catch him. Guang starts to feel a little insecure and starts thinking that if they send Shinzuan, the stalker might hurt her, and since he liked her, he couldn't let her go there. Now these people disguise Guang as a girl and send him to the street where the stalker always used to come, but when Guang goes there disguised as a girl, he was just sitting there with his gang and waiting for the fight. While Jung was also secretly waiting for her, but in the meantime, Boss teases Fawang thinking he is a girl and starts to catch her. Hearing this, Saul goes there and fights with Boss Hooky Gang and drives Gang away from there, which was quite funny to see. But now everyone had gone after them. When Jang and his people see Shalu, they also go after the boss's gang. The next day, we see that Xiaolu and Guang are very close to each other. They are very upset that they were not able to catch that pervert, and because of them, Jung's business also got ruined. Here people were thinking that they need a girl who is not only beautiful but she is also very strong and brave, so that with her help they can catch that stalker in one go. On this, Guang says that he has never seen a beautiful and brave girl like Balin. But then suddenly a pig comes inside the whole canteen. It was running here and there like crazy, and everyone was scared of it. But then Mr. Neo's daughter Young enters and bravely controls the pig. As soon as she does, Balin is about to be hurt by Xiaolu, who saves her. But Balin calls him powerful and drives him away from herself. Now Xiaolu starts thinking that Young will be the best girl for his plan, so he tells her his plan and explains that if she helps them, they will be able to catch the stalker, because he has never seen a brave and beautiful girl like her. Hearing this, she is very happy and agrees to help him. After getting ready, they take her to the same street where she had come well prepared. Seeing that, Xiaolu was sure they would catch the stalker. But when Young went to the street and started challenging the stalker loudly, no one came in front of her. This plan of poor Xiaolu also failed because she was very brave, and doing such things would never bring the stalker in front of her. After this, he thinks that only Balin can help him. Instead of talking to her directly, he first puts a pin in her bicycle so that when it gets punctured, he can help her on the pretext of fixing it. To include her in the plan, he follows Balin all the way, remembering how beautiful she is. When she first came in front of him, he was completely impressed by her beauty. But then he regains consciousness and remembers, no, what am I thinking about all this? This girl is very rude. Now Balin's bicycle also gets punctured. Suddenly, it starts raining. Xiaolu comes in front of her and asks her to stop. He offers to help, but she tells him that he did it on purpose. She asks him to fix her bicycle and return it to her dorm. Hearing this, he explains that he just wanted her help to make his plan successful and catch the stalker. Balin gets wet due to the rain, and Xiaolu starts looking at her, which makes Balin very angry, and she slaps him and goes away. The next day, Xiaolu fixes her bike but seems lost while working. A friend asks why he is doing so much for Balin and if he has started liking her. Xiaolu says no, he just wants her help to catch the stalker. But then they hear some workers outside talking about Balin, saying how beautiful she is and wondering who she will marry. Hearing this, Xiaolu gets very angry and throws a screw at them, telling them not to talk about her like that again. His friend then asks, if you used to hate Balin, how did you start liking her? Xiaolu says there is nothing between them but hatred. Guang gives Xiaolu an idea, telling him that if all the factory workers start harassing Balin to impress her, Xiaolu can impress her by saving her from them and then take her help in catching the stalker. Xiaolu agrees. We then see Balin going to dinner where some girls are talking about her, saying she is a murderer because of some rumors, but she was not listening because she was wearing headphones. A girl named Afan stops Balin and tells her not to pay attention to those girls. They become friends, and Balin gives Afan some notes to prepare for studying abroad. The next day, Xiaolu takes Balin's bicycle and stands outside her dorm. Seeing this, she is a little happy because she did not think Xiaolu would be so honest about his work. He tells her that all the workers are trying to impress her. If he saves her from them, she will have to help him clear his name and prove that he is not a stalker. Saying this, he leaves. Later, we see Balin in her cubicle where a worker is trying to flirt with her. He tells her how he feels awkward since he saw her, and she teaches him a lesson by offering to give him an injection, scaring him. The secretary comes and tells the worker that if his health is bad, he will get early retirement. The worker quickly runs away. The secretary then tells Balin that many workers will try to harass her, but he does not believe the rumors about her being a murderer. Then another worker tells Balin that some people are fighting and one is injured. She quickly goes to see them, but it turns out to be a lie to get her attention. She calms them down, saying she has a boyfriend who is a factory worker. Xiaolu enters and calls Balin his girlfriend, shocking everyone. Xiaolu kisses Balin, which surprises her too. She gets very angry and says she will never help him again. Xiaolu explains he kissed her to save her from being harassed. But Balin finds fault in him, making Xiaolu say he thought she was beautiful and dedicated, but she turned out to be heartless and cruel. Balin gets even angrier and tries to hit him, but he holds her hands. She kicks him, hurting him. But he tells her he did nothing wrong and will never apologize. The next day, Xiaolu is called by Xinjian because Balin had complained that Xiaolu had harassed her. Xinjian asks why he kissed Balin if he didn't harass her. Guan gets jealous seeing them close and asks them to move away. Mr. Nu arrives and asks Guang and Shalu to work in the ladies' department. Meanwhile, Balin treats a fan. The secretary asks her to support him in teaching Shalu a lesson because he likes her. Balin refuses, saying it's her personal matter and she can handle it on her own. Then the secretary asks her if she really has a boyfriend, but she doesn't give him any answer, and the poor guy gets disappointed. He leaves, and Afan asks Balin if the secretary is the best boy in the factory and his dad is also very rich, so she should not ignore his efforts because maybe he likes her. But Balin replies that she has no interest in the secretary. Afan then asks her if she likes Shalu, but she tells him that ever since she came here, the first thing that happened was that Shalu had to go to jail and her bicycle had to be fixed. After so many things that happened, she doesn't think he would like her. At night, we see Saul thinking about Balin when Guang tells him that they should go watch a movie on the weekend. Shalu then remembers the moment when Balin was walking in the rain and he was looking at her. At that time, she slapped him, remembering which he felt bad. He sleeps quietly but then has a dream in which he sees Balin kissing him. When he is about to kiss her, his dream gets interrupted, and he wakes up with great fear, thinking she's going to kiss him. The next day, Shinjin is having lunch with Guang and Shalu when Balin also comes there for lunch. Seeing this, Shinjin says that she is not that beautiful. Shal, seeing Balin, becomes a little nervous, due to which Shinjin asks why he is behaving like this. He tells her that he had a very scary dream last night. She follows him and asks him to tell her about his dream. He only tells her that he saw someone in his dream. Shinjin starts explaining that Shalu is seeing someone in his dream because maybe he likes that person. Hearing this, Shalu also starts thinking that he does not want to lose her. Then a boy comes there and calls them on an urgent basis for some work. We see that an imported machine in a department had broken down due to some reason. Mr. Nu is fixing it because he is the head of the mechanical department, but suddenly the factory's machine manager comes and stops Mr. Nu from working. He says that this is a German machine, so a mechanic will come from Germany next week to fix it. Mr. Nu tells him that if they wait until next week, work will stop for a week, because the problem in the machine is only due to a screw and there is nothing else wrong. Hearing this, the manager starts insulting Mr. Nu, saying he is an old employee and does not know the rules and regulations, so he should retire. If there is any problem with the machine, the company will take the repair cost from him. After hearing all this, everyone feels bad for Mr. Nu. Shalu and his team make a plan to do something for Mr. Nu because they know he can fix the machine. Shalu, along with everyone, tells the plan to Mr. Nu, saying they will somehow avoid the guards at night and enter the department where the machine is and repair it throughout the night. Mr. Nu refuses, but when Shalu reaches alone at night with all the other people to repair the machine, he sees that Mr. Nu is also there. They somehow avoid the guards and reach the machine. Mr. Nu starts his work. A lady from Mr. Nu's team, Chan, starts scaring another lady by covering her with a blanket, causing the lady to run away and tell the guards that she saw a ghost. The guards start running after Chan to catch her, but he manages to avoid them. Mr. Nu fixes the machine. The next day, the news spreads that they saw a ghost in the factory and the broken machine started working on its own. Still, the manager does not allow the work to start and asks to wait for the German mechanic. When the mechanic arrives, he finds a Chinese screw inside the machine, which Mr. Nu had installed. The mechanic blames the screw for the machine's damage and says Mr. Nu should not have put any screw inside the machine without permission. Seeing this, the director and manager want to fire Mr. Nu, accusing him of making a mistake. Mr. Nu tries to explain that he repaired the machine, but no one listens to him. Shalu comes alone and tells everyone that it was his plan, so if anyone should be fired, it should be him. Hearing this, his other teammates also admit they were involved in the plan and should be fired too. The director decides not to fire Mr. Nu but says Guang and Shalu must apologize to the German mechanic. Guang and Shalu decide to say sorry to the German mechanic but don't know how to speak English. They send Chan to talk to him, signaling how to say sorry, but the mechanic misunderstands and thinks they are challenging him. The mechanic gets very angry. Balin then talks to Shalu, asking why he is putting everyone in trouble because of his idea. Shalu tells her he just wants to save Mr. Nu. We then see Shalu having drinks with Mr. Nu, who tells him that if he gets fired, he will support them. Mr. Nu also tells him he is like him and belongs to the same bloodline. Young hears this and starts thinking that if Shalu is not his brother, but then Mr. Nu explains that once in his childhood, when he fell from the stairs, he had a major injury and both had the same blood group, so Shalu gave him blood. He says Shalu is like his son, but Young gets angry, saying Mr. Nu has only one son, which is him, and Shalu can never be his brother. Shalu thinks a lot about Mr. New and starts watching English movies all night to learn English. The next day, Balin goes to the office to give an English tape to the secretary and tells him that the German mechanic said the machine's contract states that if there is any fault in the machine, the company will have to pay for the repair. When she reads the contract, she finds nothing written in it. She takes the contract and runs away, where Chan meets her and they quickly reach the German mechanic. Balin explains the contract to him, saying there is no need to pay compensation to the factory and the machine should be repaired and returned because the factory did not damage it. The mechanic agrees and leaves. Now everything is fixed. The director tells Guang and Chan that they will not punish Mr. New because he fixed the machine, but they will punish both of them as well as Shalu for breaking the rules and entering the factory at night. They become happy that Mr. New will not be fired and they just have to write a letter of apology to the director. They are very happy. Guang picks up a box of chocolates to give to Xinjian. On the other side, we see Shalu. As soon as she wakes up, she goes to Balin's medical office. He gets up, wears her coat, and starts dancing, pretending to be asleep in front of her. When she realizes he is acting, she tells him to stop behaving like a wild bear and says he is very handsome. He forbids her from calling him that next time. She praises him for what he did for the girls, and they smile at each other. Mr. New is back in the department because everyone is celebrating and singing a song for him. During the song, we see Guan giving the chocolate to Xinjian to impress her, but Xinjian gives the chocolate to Shalu because she likes her. Shalu gives the chocolates to Balin with a thank you note. She smiles and eats one of the chocolates, showing she accepted Shalu's apology. An announcement is being made in the factory that last night that stalker again raped a lady. Hence, all the ladies of the factory should take care of themselves and not go out at night. After this, Balin talks to the head of the security department. She meets him and asks him what time the stalker was last seen last night. As Balin finds out the time, she confirms to the head that the stalker is not Shalu because he was with her at that time and earlier. He also did not attack him because he is not such a person. Hearing this, the head also says that he has also seen Saul growing up inside that factory since childhood, and he also knows that he is of a very honest and helpful nature. At night, we see Balin walking alone on the road, and this is the same place where that stalker used to attack girls. Even today, that stalker chases Balin with a stick and is about to attack her. But Shalu comes at the right time and saves her, and now instead of Balin, his head gets hurt. Balin is surprised to see him here and asks, "What are you doing here?" But he sees the stalker and runs after him to catch him because today he wanted to catch him at any cost. But the stalker enters inside a construction building from there. Both of them start searching for him, and Balin throws pepper spray in his eyes and catches him. But the stalker pushes Shalu down the stairs and runs away, due to which Shalu gets hurt and both of them are unable to catch the stalker. From here, they go straight to the factory where Balin was giving medicine to Shalu, and when he was shouting loudly, Balin calms him down and says, "You are not hurt that much because you are driving so hard," but he says, "Oh no, I was joking," and now as soon as he sits down, that poor guy was having a lot of pain even in sitting because he had an injury on his butt and was bleeding from there. Seeing this, Balin asks him to take off his pants so that she can apply medicine to him, but he refuses and says he will show his butt only to his future wife and not to anyone else. If she wants to see his butt, then she will have to marry him. Hearing this, she starts laughing and says that she is a doctor and she has seen a lot of butts. She can't marry every patient like this, and now Shalu starts applying the medicine himself. Meanwhile, Balin was cleaning the dust from her hair and he also starts going to help her, but as soon as Balin turns back, he stops and says that he was just coming to blow the dust. So with his help, she runs the fan and Balin's hair starts blowing in the wind and she is looking very nice. Shalu just keeps looking at her in this manner, then he asks her, "Now you believe that I am not a stalker?" Balin tells him that the stalker she saw today was different from the previous one because earlier the one who chased Balin was very muscular. And today the person who attacked him had a very soft body, so now they get confused as to who could be that stalker. The next day, Balin goes to meet the senior doctor, and she puts a packet of birth control medicine on his table, seeing which the doctor gets nervous and says, "What are you doing? Arresting an old man?" Then she tells him that she got it from that stalker last night. When she was trying to catch him, the doctor tells her that the records of all the tablets are kept by the chairwoman of the medical department of the record factory, who was actually Mrs. Liu, i.e. Shalu's mother. On the other hand, we see Shalu had also come to his house to get some clothes. He starts dancing while wearing his detective suit and glasses. Then, Balin had come to his house to talk to Mrs. Liu, and she asked him to give her whatever birth control pills he had bought. She asks for the records of the tablets given to her by Mrs. Liu, where she learns from Mrs. Liu that she has kept all the tablets inside her house, and from there she supplies them to all the ladies. This is because the ladies do not want to come to her factory and ask for these pills. They feel ashamed and do not even have any record of this. Balin says that this is a factory item, so according to the rules you should have kept a record of it. And I came to collect the rest of the stuff lying in your house. Because you can't keep it at home. Hearing this, the other ladies sitting there and Mrs. Liu get a little angry. They say, "How can you doubt me?" She also talks about the fact that she has been working honestly inside the factory for so many years, and you, the girl who came yesterday, are teaching me the rules. But she explains to them that she is just doing her work and did not want to take the matter further, hence she quietly leaves from there because she only wanted the records, which she did not get. Shalu was also listening to all this from his room, but by the time he comes out, Balin is gone. At night, we see that on the roof of the factory, Balin is standing and drinking, and she was standing right at the edge. Then Shalu comes and pulls her back and asks why she was trying to commit suicide, but Balin says that she was not committing suicide and wanted to live. No one will have this desire more than me, but still, Shalu starts telling her that he knows that no matter how strong Balin becomes, there are many problems in her life due to which she is troubled and wants to solve those problems. She can share it with him because he trusts her. Hearing this, Balin comes very close to him, due to which he feels that she is going to kiss him, so he also closes his eyes to kiss her. But then Balin looks to the side where her eyes go to the office building. She tells him that just now she saw a man dancing with a lady in the office, but the next moment they disappear from there. On this, Shalu says that she is making excuses, but Balin says that she doesn't need any excuse to reject him. She can reject him just like that. Saying this, she leaves from there, but while leaving, Shalu tells her that he invites her to the opening ceremony of his brother's skating rink and says that he wants to go there with her. She says yes and leaves. Now, the day of the opening ceremony comes where Shalu was waiting with Jiang, wondering when Balin would come. But before Balin arrives, Shinjin comes and starts clinging to Shalu, as Jiang thinks that maybe she is Shalu's girlfriend. But he tells her that she is mistaken because Shalu is someone else's waiter. Just then, Jiang announces that they are going to have a competition. Hearing this, Shinjin starts pulling Shalu, but Shalu refuses to participate in the competition because Balin had not come yet. But then Balin arrives to participate, which makes him very happy. Then there is a skating race between them. Meanwhile, Shalu was only looking at Balin because she was looking very good. He also tells Balin that he didn't expect her to come here. She tells him that she still has a lot to see. After this, they finish the race and Balin wins. Seeing all this, Shinjin is shocked and not feeling good at all because she likes Shalu. So she accidentally bumps into the boss who had secretly come to the opening ceremony. He tries to harass Shinjin here, but Jiang catches him. Letta, and now there was going to be a fight between them. Meanwhile, Shinjin comes to Olu, but then Gang comes there and starts getting angry at Shalu. How can Shalu give him movie tickets and sell them somewhere else and enjoy skating here with Shinjin? He came to do it, but the poor guy didn't know what he was talking about. Guang even pushes him so that he collides with Busu. Then Shinjuan tells Guang that he had kept those tickets there, but after seeing all this, Basu became very angry, and he starts lighting fireworks to fight with Jiang. Then Jung and his team also do the same, where no one fights and they were scaring each other with fireworks, which was very nice to watch. Shailu and Bailan pass through those fireworks and spend a lot of time with each other. Bailan goes to the hospital with Shalu because when Guang pushed her, she got a little injury on her face. Shalu tells Guang that he does not like Shinjin and wants to date someone else. Hearing this, Bailan also jokingly tells him that she doesn't want to tease him because he was fighting with Guang there, because he wanted to tell all this to Bailan, who after listening to Guang also understands. Now both of them leave from here, where Saul tells Guang the same thing. He is explaining that he doesn't like Shinjin, but if Guang likes him, then he should not give up and should try to impress Shinjin. He also says that if Shinjin doesn't agree, then he will marry her instead. Shalu starts praising her a lot to arouse her interest in Young. At the same time, Young also comes there and hears all these things and starts feeling shy that Shalu is here and praising her. She is happy and goes away, giving her tiffin box to Shalu to eat. Poor Shalu is unable to understand what is happening here and gives the food to Guang to eat. On the other hand, when Bailan reaches the hostel, she finds that someone has left a letter on the table in her room in which it is written that Bailan should not chase things that do not belong to her, otherwise the stalker will not stop chasing her. The next morning we see her dressed up like a very nice girl and coming inside the factory where she had brought lunch for both Value and her dad, which makes everyone laugh seeing her dressed like this, because she always used to dress up like a girl and behave like one. Now she comes to Shalu and gives her lunch very lovingly. She was doing all this so that she could impress her, but for more than that. This drama doesn't happen, and from here she picks up her skirt and runs away like the boys. After this, when Shal was sitting peacefully having lunch, he was just looking at Shalu's food to see how good it was for her. She has prepared and brought it, but then Bela comes there to call Shalu, due to which he gives his food to Chan and leaves from here, and Jane becomes very happy that he will eat the tasty food prepared by her hands. Balin shows the letter to Shalu, where Shalu notices that on the back of the letter there was a lead whistle stuck in it, which was used only in one bakery there, and with it, they could find out who did the last act. Balin says that if they did this, they would put the packet of kalpapavad on the notice board of the factory, because they knew that whoever it belonged to would definitely come there to take it, because any criminal would leave his evidence in the open. Couldn't leave it so that he gets caught, which was the whole idea of Shalu, due to which Balin also gets impressed. Seeing this, Shalu tells her that if it is so, then she can like him, but right now she needs to pay attention to all these things. After which, these people stand hidden the whole day and keep an eye on the notice board. It started raining there too, but as soon as the night shift ends, a lot of people come there. One of them sees Balin and him removing the lost evidence, and they come to know that this person is none other than Afen, who was Balin's friend. Seeing him, both of them are surprised, and they start asking why she did all this when Bayala had never done anything to her. Then Afan tells her that she wanted to go abroad to study, and Director Ding was going to give her that spot because there was only one position available for the scholarship. But despite passing the exam, that position was given to Biana, even though she had worked very hard to get that position and had also done whatever she could for Director Ding. After listening to this, Balin explains to her that nothing has been taken away from her, nor did she want to spot him. After which, they send her away from here. Now the next day, Shalu goes to Director Ding's office because she had to cover some scratches on the wall there. He jokingly tells Ding that these scratches were probably caused by some girl's nails. Hearing this, Ding gets very triggered and gets angry at Saul. Then he hears the sound of a fan, who is about to jump from the roof of the factory. She was telling everyone here how Director Ding had liked her and had done wrong to her. Hearing all these things, many people from the factory gather downstairs and forbid her from doing so. Along with the secretary, he also says that he will definitely help her and they will also investigate this. But hearing this, Mrs. Jing starts telling everyone that she just wants to implicate her husband, and her husband has not done anything. Because Afen has no defense against his arrest, hearing which Afen was about to jump in frustration. But at the right time, Bela and Shalu reach the terrace and tell everyone that he is the eyewitness of this matter. Here she tells how she saw him having fun in Ding's office that day, so she convinces him by saying that she will testify for him, and takes his hand and brings him back. After this, we see that all three go to the medical room, where Secretary G was taking very good care of Afan and Bela. But as soon as Saul goes close to him, he jokes that, hey, she too has been __, so she should help him too. Hearing this, Secretary G runs away, and Afan is now admitted to the hospital, where Shalu and Balin were talking. Earlier they were very selfish in holding the talker together, but now they are also helping the other person together. That's why they both are so similar. Then the doctor comes and tells them that they will have to keep Afen hospitalized for a few days, so Balin decides to stay there and take care of him. After which, Shalal goes to his department and explains to everyone there that she should not go against Director Ding because he was a very influential person inside the factory. By doing so, they could have fired him. After this, we see Shalu's mom. She also calls him and invites him home, where she wanted him to sign an apology letter against Ding, in which it was written that I am taking back all the allegations he has made against him and I apologize to him, but Shalu completely refuses for this. And he also explains to his parents that they have taught Shalu since childhood that she should always support the truth, so why are they doing this to her now? And whatever Afen was saying is true, but still his mom does not support him and says that if he is thrown out of the factory, he will not be able to get answers anywhere, and then how will he spend his life, so he should apologize to Director Ding as soon as possible. But she doesn't agree and leaves the house. From here, he directly meets June, where June was supporting Shalu, but he was also worried about Shalu, that he might be fired from the factory, otherwise what would happen to him. So he calls Shinjana, because Shinjai was a friend of Director Ding. She could make Shalu understand, and she tells him that she too is being judged by everyone because of her uncle, so she should say sorry to her uncle for that. She should, because she also had goodness in him, and she did not want Uncle Ding to do anything bad to her. Hearing this, Shalu also explains to her that he is not judging her because both she and her uncle are different people, and in reality he wants to support Afen because he is not wrong and he will not change his decision. Saying this, he gets up and leaves. On the other hand, we see that Director Ding is very angry, and then Secretary C comes to meet him, where Ding tells her that his wife has beaten him a lot. That is why he was walking around wearing glasses, so that no one can see his injury. Yes, but the secretary tells Bai Ding that she is on his side, and that day he had raped Afan. She had supported him just so that he could stop her from jumping, where he also says that Ding is a very good person and Afan is probably mentally ill. That is why she is making such allegations against him. This is an idea that now Director Ding also likes. He comes and says that if they can prove that Afang is mentally ill, then he will be able to save himself, but now they had to prove him mentally ill somehow. Then the secretary tells Ji Ding that he has a very good relationship with Bela. If so, somehow he will convince her and get her a fake medical certificate made to prove that Afen is mentally ill, and the director will be proven innocent. After this, we see Afan, who says sorry to Balin, and she tells him that how when she passed the exam for the first time, Din gave that spot to his son, and the second time also he gave that spot to some influential person, due to which she got very disappointed. Then Din told her that exams, etc., do not matter. No matter how many exams you pass, you will not get this spot. For that, I had to impress Din. At first I did not listen to him, but even after my refusal he assaulted me. But then also, instead of giving me that spot, he gave it to you. After hearing all this, Bai Lan feels very bad for him and she forgives him here. Then there comes the secretary, who takes Nay outside to talk. When he goes to PA, he indirectly tells her to make a certificate of Afan's mental illness so that they can save Afen from being fired from the company. Where he also says that if Balin does not make the certificate, then they will fire him too. Therefore, he indirectly forces him here, but Balin does not listen to him. She had understood that these people want to save themselves by calling Afen mentally ill. On the other hand, when Shalu was also sitting and eating food with the people of his department, then people praise him a lot for how he is supporting Afan in a completely different way, because they all knew what kind of person Director Din is. But now after everyone leaves, Mr. Nu tells Shalu that he is thinking the best for Shalu. They are sure that he will definitely give justice, but they will have to find some concrete evidence against Director Din so that they can give that evidence to the police and get justice for Afan, because the testimony of those people is not such a big evidence, where Young is also saying something. She is very angry at Ding. She tells her dad and Shalu that if she had been in Fang's place, she would have stabbed Ding with a knife. Hearing this, Shalu gets an idea and leaves from here in a hurry. After this, we see that Director Ding was saying sorry to his wife again and again, that Afen is lying and she did not like him, but his wife knew what kind of man he is. Then Afen comes there and Ding. To teach Shaul a lesson, she scares him with chalk so that he confesses everything, that he made a mistake and he should not have harassed her. Seeing all this, Shaul and Balin are becoming very happy because this idea was Shaul's. The idea was that if a Fang fights back from Ding, he will accept his mistake, and in reality the same thing happens. So after this, there are signatures on this matter in the entire factor, and everyone said that Director Ding is with the girls. Misbehaves, due to which now Afen and Balin are called to the secretary department, where the director promises Afen that they will deduct the salary for now, and when this case is completely solved, then he will fire him. Where now the director was going to give her a chance to study abroad for free for her compensation, but Fang refuses all this, and so that she can call all this, she resigns from the factory and goes away so that the director also respects this decision so that he can start a good life. Now, to say goodbye to a Fang. Shalu and Balin go to drop him outside, where he thanks them for helping him so much and says that if both of them had not been her friends, then maybe she would not have been able to fight so much, and she would have committed suicide by jumping from the roof of that factory, but both of them supported her. So now she will consider them as her lifelong best friends and will never forget them. After which she goes away happy from here. After which Shalu tells Balin that earlier he used to wonder why he was doing so much for Fang, because when his mother gave him an apology letter, or his cousin asked him to talk to Shinjin and say sorry, then Shalu could have accepted all those things, but he did not do so because he trusted Balin, and if Balin was supporting Afan in every situation, then Shalu also did the same. He also wanted to do the same, and also says that if Afan considers both of them as lifelong best friends, then according to him Shalu and Bela are also lifelong best friends of each other, and these people extend the hand of friendship in front of Bahai Lan. But she leaves telling him that she will think about it. Then he calls her from behind and says that together they will cooperate with each other very smoothly, so she should not think too much about it, which after hearing this both of them start smiling, and with this episode ends here. So guys, this was today's video and I hope you guys liked this video. Then please like this video and subscribe to the channel. See you again. Goodbye till the next episode of this drama.